Okay, Crab.
All right. Here we
Rob.
go. Well, we're at it again, huh? Once again, we got
Once
fucking, we got a special guest.
Hey.
We got a special guest today.
You say that to everybody who comes along.
No, you're
Okay.
quite special.
Okay. No, we got a really special guest. Mr. Paul Rodriguez is in the house.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Welcome,
You know
buddy.
what I'm saying?
Hey. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming, man.
My pleasure.
To his right, always, we got Raj. So, yeah, what's going on, man? You got your white ale there, the St.
Yeah.
Archers. I like that.
I
like
see that you
that.
guys, at least I see Roger likes to,
Yep.
enjoy a nice brewski and have a
Right.
good conversation.
Definitely
That's
enjoy
it.
I enjoy it as well, so
That's
I
it.
figure I'll bring over some St. Archers and enjoy.
How did you get involved with Josh Landon and the St. Archer crew?
I met Josh years ago. He used to he comes from the surf world. He made a lot of skate films, but he used to do this thing called Natural High for schools where they make anti-drug videos to show to students, and
Okay.
they
Yeah.
get different athletes from different places and interview them and all that about why you shouldn't do drugs. And so a long time ago I did an interview with him for one of those, and then a couple years later he went on a trip with Mikey Taylor, a surf trip, because Mikey's a big surfer.
He's a big surfer. Yeah.
I forget what was the purpose of the trip or how or whatever, but they ended up hitting it off really good. And Mikey's always kind of had like an entrepreneurial kind of thing about him. And so him and Josh went, they hit it off. They found that they both kind of had that in common. We're talking about like, hey man, like what is the market missing right now? Like what's the skateboard world missing? Like what
Beer.
What could we do? Yeah. And it was like,
Meanwhile, they're drinking a beer. Like, what's it?
yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, they're like, what do we all like? Like, what does everybody like that there's not too many companies? Sunglasses? No. Bag company? No. Shoes? Hell no.
Yeah. Seriously.
Another
Yeah.
board coming, another this?
Yeah.
No. They were sharing a hotel room together, and then they went to go to bed like, whatever, good night. Turn off the light, and like 2 seconds later, I forget which one, Mikey or Josh, popped up, turned the light on. Beer!
Oh,
And
shit.
the other one was just like, yeah, beer!
Oh, my God.
And I guess the whole rest of that trip, they really were like, just,
talking about
bouncing it back
Yeah.
and forth,
That's
like
so
beer.
sick.
What would that be like? And then I guess Mikey told him, we should talk to Paul about this. And Mikey hit me up that weekend, like, can you meet us Monday? We got something we think you're gonna be into. And I went met up with them, and they
And
proposed it to
neither
me.
of them come from like a
No.
beer
Well, I was going to say,
background
like,
No.
I mean,
or-
that's some shit to jump into.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, probably not knowing anything about the goddamn
nothing. We knew
business,
nothing
like-
about it. So early on, Mikey and I got together with some money. We invested, just us two, so that Josh could literally quit his job,
Right.
move to San Diego from Ventura,
Yeah.
and literally committed himself to this process.
That's
And so
awesome.
we invested in basically him and trusting that he was the right guy that could get this done.
Yeah.
And he went in and executed like crazy and
That's-
found
yeah.
every detail about it, what the cost was, whatever. So we just went in, all friends and family, went to everybody, what other skaters, surfers, snowboarders.
Surprised you
Who do
didn't
we
come
think
to
would
me,
invest?
I could have put in a couple $100.
That'd have been
I mean, is
nice.
that- yeah.
Yeah, man.
What do you, like, Raj could have put
So-
in 50. He's unemployed, but he could have put in a couple
Yeah.
bucks.
The model you guys chose with like, hey, you guys all pitch in X amount of dollars, whatever, great model. And like
Yeah.
being able to use like all these top name surfers,
Yeah.
skaters, snowboarders, whatever, to help promote it, genius.
Well, it's because
know?
what we found out, which is natural for us in the industry we're in, is marketing,
Yeah.
But what we found out is in craft brew, there's not a lot of actual marketing.
No.
They consider like coasters or little like cozies as their
Knickknacks,
marketing
right?
when there's
It's
but
all basic marketing.
for them-
Yeah.
POP.
yeah,
shit,
but
right?
for
Yeah.
them their beer is our marketing. Like, no, we just make a great product and that's our marketing, and
And it'll
people
sell
find
itself.
word of mouth. Yeah,
Yeah.
and it sells.
Yeah.
And that works for a lot of these companies.
Yeah.
But we figured like, how the hell are these guys not marketing, promoting? And now we had like
Interesting, yeah.
athletes to tie it to. We had
Right.
Costin, we had a
Yeah.
bunch of dudes like,
Yeah.
let's really
Well, I go down the
Bring
beer
it up.
aisle and there's hundreds of beers.
Yeah.
And I'm not a beer drinker either. So I'm just looking at this shock top and this and that. I'm like, give me a Heineken. Like,
Yeah,
that's
you
what I know.
just- yeah,
That's
exactly.
what I know. Well, I guess
Yeah.
they've done their marketing pretty well, but
So we just applied the skate mentality marketing to what it was. And the funny thing is when we first got our distribution with, I think it was Stone Brewery, I remember that we invited all our investors that were available to come, and we had like a lookbook, and we went and met at Stone with their top 60 reps who are going to be our guys selling our first beers
beer.
from San Diego to like Huntington Beach area, I think somewhere in that zone.
Mm-hmm.
And we brought a lookbook and we brought a little video like explaining who our people were, kind of like a little brand commercial.
Yep.
And they were like, "Oh my God, this is incredible! We've never seen anything like this." We gave them a catalog, like it's natural for any other brand.
Yeah.
They're like, "This is they thought we just reinvented the wheel," and we're like, "You guys don't do this. This is like just
This is what I want
standard."
for us.
Yeah,
Like,
no for skateboarding.
here's my board in the catalog.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
our shirts.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
and that's it in a nutshell, kind of
Damn.
That's awesome.
how it happened. Now we're here just
Huh.
sipping away.
And kudos to Josh.
Yeah,
I mean, for handling everything and flipping his script to
They have a-
become
he
the
literally
businessman
and
that
he
you
has
guys needed.
He has 2 at the time, now 3 kids,
Oh, wow.
wife, and everything. So he literally
He was all in.
gave up his job in Ventura as being a surf filmmaker for companies and brands or
Yeah.
whatever, similar to what Roger does.
Right.
And just jumped in, moved down to San Diego in the heart, the craft beer capital of the world, and
Right.
made it happen.
Well, if Roger came to me and said, "Hey, I'm gonna be a brewmaster," I'd be get the
You're like, I ain't
fuck out
drinking
of
that
here,
shit.
this guy.
So that original crew, whatever, Josh and all you guys, did you guys be like, hey, let's start something new? Is that how Villager started?
Yeah, that was another thing of Josh's that came out of Josh's mind,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he actually was talking about this for a while. It was cool because for me, like, I was obviously with Mountain Dew for such a long time, but
Was it hard quitting the do?
Oh,
Yes,
so you
it
had to
was.
quit the do.
yeah.
Oh,
But he was like a
interesting.
real like businessman crossroad, I guess, if you want to say. Like, it was the first like deciding like take a risk, sacrifice, or go with the sure thing.
Right.
And if I didn't know Josh so well and I didn't believe in him and the team he was putting together, I would have probably went with the sure thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But I just decided, you know what? Here I am, 30, 31. I got a daughter. What do I really want to
Yeah,
be
of course.
kind
Right.
of like
Mhm.
supporting?
And you
something
got to take
more
risks.
Yeah.
too,
conscious,
you
more
know.
Yeah.
I feel like the more successful people in life take risks. You know.
Yeah. Well,
Like,
also some of the least successful people took some risk and they just didn't go the right way.
this is true. This is true. You're sitting next to one of them. No, I'm just kidding.
Right here.
No, but you know what I mean. Flip of the coin.
Yeah.
Roll of the dice. It's
Yeah,
like,
I mean, it
let's
was
do
an
this.
Take
educated
chances.
Let's do
risk,
it, right.
educated guess, but
Yeah.
nonetheless, still like
Yeah.
I walked away from a sure thing, but I'm looking forward to it. I look at it as a positive. It's coming out next month.
Oh,
It's
shit,
about
is
to
it?
hit the stores next month. Villager
Okay.
Goods, coconut water.
Have you tried it?
I have, yeah,
Are they
yeah,
good?
yeah,
Let
yeah.
me ask you a question. I mean, I've never been a fan of chocolate coconut water.
I
but I
thought
know
it
you
was
guys are.
weird too. I
Yeah.
thought it was so weird.
Yeah.
I'd never even heard of it when Josh was presenting that as like one of our launching flavors.
It's
And he was like,
weird.
nah, this is
You would
like
think like a pineapple
Yeah.
or a.
He's like, well, we do have a pineapple
Okay, the
one
pineapple,
actually.
okay.
Yeah, we have a original flavor, just plain, coconut water,
Got you,
pineapple flavor,
pineapple.
and coconut,
Chocolate.
chocolate coconut.
Yeah.
And I was like, chocolate coconut, dude. He's like, no, dude, like this is actually in the marketplace with coconut water. That's one of the more popular flavors. I was like,
weird is
really?
that?
Sounds
Yeah.
strange. Doesn't seem like it goes well. When I tried it, I was so surprised. Like, damn, this is really good. I chugged the whole bottle. Like it was like a little sample bottle.
When I hear that, I picture like water, chocolate, like
Yeah.
chocolate watered
Yeah.
down water. or
Yeah,
something.
no,
You
but
know,
it's something
like-
about it. It really that coconut flavor. Something about when it blends with that chocolate.
Yeah.
It's like, it's really good. And I guess now that I think about it, it makes sense because think about like candy bars, like Almond Joy.
Yeah,
It's covered in
totally.
chocolate, but it's a coconut inside.
It's a great
you know what I
mix.
mean? Like,
I mean, it sounds great in the candy form.
people eat chocolate crickets, so I mean, come on.
And ants and shit, right? I love chocolate, man. I mean, great company to ride for. I mean, they're just, they're just really.
There might be a good collab
Collab
there
going
going
on,
on.
huh?
huh?
Yay,
Hey.
that's what I'm saying, huh?
You've had a pretty goddamn great career, like a
Thanks.
flawless career right now
Well, there's flaws
in
under there,
skateboarding.
trust me.
I'm sure there's flaws in there, but like you get the right people around you. Is a lot of that like
around me. Good
Cersei
mentors.
Wallace?
Cersei, she's amazing. Yeah, for those who don't know, that's my manager, and I know
Okay.
in the skateboard world, there's still a weird stigma of like, you got a manager?
Right,
yeah, I got
right,
I
right.
got a
You know
manager.
who Cersei
man.
Wallace is?
I've heard of her. I've heard of her. I don't.
She was
know, I
what a
don't
pro
know.
snowboarder at one time,
She was
Oh,
a
wow.
pro
and she can
snowboarder.
skate.
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
Yeah.
She
Really?
can kickflip for
Really?
sure. Yeah.
Okay.
And she
absolutely.
just kicks
I'd-
ass at getting deals.
I'd love to play her game of skate
Yeah,
for
yeah,
a
yeah.
good deal. You know what I'm saying? I'll play a game of skate.
Nah, she's rad. I've been working with her since I was like 17.
Oh shit!
Yeah. She's part of a big part of it. Nigel Alexander was a huge part of my like beginning.
Yeah.
He was like my early mentor. He put me up on like Tom Penny and Andrew Reynolds and he was like, these are the guys you got to watch. You want to be a great skateboarder? Here's the guys. So Nigel was early on, and he was the first friend I had that had a car because he's a few years older than me.
Mm-hmm.
So he actually took me to my first like street spots that were further than I could just push to.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm very blessed, yes, very blessed to have great people who help show me the ropes in skateboarding, business stuff, and in every other kind of way. Yeah.
That's
So
sick.
I'm very, very lucky. Very
Wish
lucky.
I had
It's
those
very
kind of people in my
important.
life.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I think you guys are doing good. I like what you got going on here.
Well, you know, we're just having fun, man. You know,
but
that's the thing.
Hey,
that's where it all stems from.
That's it.
Cersei wants to rep a show. Let us know.
You
We're
never
looking.
know.
Raj is looking for a Stella sponsor.
Yeah,
I'm looking
yeah.
for
Yeah.
any sponsor.
Yeah,
I mean, anything I can
you know,
get.
this-
We could throw a chocolate coconut
I'm
logo
saying,
up
you know
there.
what I
You know what I
mean?
mean? Like
Villager
yeah.
Goods.
Growing up, you were from the valley.
Yes, sir.
Which part of the valley?
Northridge, California.
Northridge. That's
Mhm.
right.
Born and raised.
That's right. So you started skating. What age?
I started
like,
skating about Christmas time, 1996. I was
Okay.
11 years old.
Did you get a Christmas
Soon
complete?
to be 12 years old. I did. Well, yes, it was a Christmas complete, but it wasn't on Christmas. I went to a new school that year. I saw kids who were skating in the parking lot before and after school because I would walk to school, and I was just fascinated. Like, how do they keep the board to their feet? How do they flip it? I
Right,
had to know how that was done.
Yeah.
Right.
Finally, I was super shy, and I ended up finally after a couple months, asking one kid, "Hey, man, can I try your board? Like, just try
And
standing
you
on
did
it
like
and
a tray
rolling on
flip
it."
right away, right? Is
No,
that it?
and I
switch flip.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
did a
I
switch
wish.
flip. Did a nollie flip crook down the rail.
I wish.
Like, oh, I think I can do this.
Yeah.
And I remember that kid. He had a board. It was an Eric Costin. It was a girl
Okay.
board. It was like a stereo graphic on the nose and tail was each a speaker. And that kid happened to be
I see.
Daniel Abadi, who is
No
still
way.
part of skateboarding. Yeah, it
Wow.
was Dan Abadi. From
And you're
there,
still boys to this day.
Still
That's
boys
crazy.
to this
yeah.
day. We're still both involved in skateboarding.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so that was a cool experience to see that 20 years later, here we are.
Totally.
So what was your very first board you had?
Christmas was approaching, and everybody was asking, "What do you want for Christmas?" Because my birthday is December 31st, so I would always
Oh.
get like the Christmas
Double up.
present was
Yeah.
also my birthday present. So they would just, "What do you want
Pretty
for
harsh.
what do you
Yeah.
want for
Yeah.
Christmas or your birthday?" It was like,
Slash,
I was just like, well, I just want a little bit of money so I can go pick out my own skateboard. And I went and I got a skateboard at Valley Skate and Surf, which was really close to my home. And I got a Powell Blank Ventures when they had the green bushings and no screen graphic on the front of the truck. And I had some Rat Bones wheels,
wow.
just some generic shop bearings, and I think some Shorty's hardware. And that was it, man.
That was it.
Sick.
That was my setup.
That's all she wrote.
I remember it. I remember it to this day. It had almost like a
Did you ever did you
turquoise
keep it?
kind of top. No, I didn't keep, man. Had I known what was going to become of that
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
board and where it was going to lead me, I would have loved to have kept it, but I have no clue where it's
You
at.
could- I still have my original board my first board ever.
Really?
I don't know why I saved it. It was the only
That's
board
so
I've ever
awesome.
saved,
What was it?
used. A blind Jason Lee board.
No way.
Yeah.
Ha! I was at a hospital early this morning, and I saw
What were you doing at the hospital?
it was a children's hospital in LA. I was just
nice.
going for a little visit, and
Excellent.
they had a picture of all the staff, and one of the doctors' name was Jason Lee. I was like,
Oh, no
yeah,
way.
that's what's up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what's up.
I'm sure there's Paul Rodriguez all over the place.
Dude, actually, yes.
I've never met any Chris Roberts. It's not a common name.
Yeah, right.
It's
The
not-
only one.
Yeah,
it's not-
right.
It's not
You're
it.
the only one I know of.
I was telling you about this. What movie was I watching?
Dude,
oh,
hey.
did you watch it?
No, but somebody else the other day told me that.
Yeah, the
too,
Seth
and I was
Rogen
like,
movie.
Paul
Yeah,
told
they
me
call him
the-
C-Rob also.
Yeah, the sweater movie.
Yeah,
What
the
movie?
Christmas sweater movie
Yeah.
with Seth Rogen and
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
yeah, there's a Chris Roberts in that. That's
They
his-
call him C-Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the night before Christmas, something like that. Or,
Something like that,
No,
yeah.
The night before.
till Christmas or something like night.
Yeah.
That movie was hilarious.
Was it?
It
I
was
gotta,
really
I gotta
funny.
see
Yeah.
it, man. I gotta see it.
Yeah.
But look, we got the P-Rod and the C-Rob
Yeah,
right
that's
here, man.
And the
you know?
R bag.
And the R bag.
Well, let me ask you guys a question. Let me put you in the hot seat.
Please
man.
do. Please
ask
do.
away, yeah.
Hey, what's the plan with the show here? I see a lot of potential here.
Do you?
What are we talking?
Well-
we trying to get sponsorship dollars here. I'm just curious, like, what's the ultimate vision? I know it's still young. I know.
Yeah. Well, we just wanted to do it just to do it, you know?
Right.
Fun is number one.
Fun
Yeah,
is number one.
That's
Yeah.
a given.
Yes. We have been approached by
A few people.
different people to bring it to their.
So you're already being courted.
We are.
You've been courted.
We are
I
being
like
courted.
that.
by
But
numerous people.
Oh, okay.
we gracefully say no because right now we just want to have fun,
Right.
dude.
Is it too
like,
early, you think?
We don't want to make it a job.
yeah. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if we started doing it with whatever magazine or whatever
Channel.
Website.
channel
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah.
all of a sudden you have them being like, "Yo, where's this show at? Like, hey, you need to get this guy on because this guy's promoting something." Like,
Yeah.
all of a sudden we're gonna be like taking note, like, "Fuck
Yeah,
you."
deadline. Yeah, I
Right,
get
right,
it. But
right.
why don't you pull the Howard Stern approach? See, that's what I think you're doing.
What's the Howard Stern
You're building
approach?
up so much leverage
Yeah.
by
Well.
building
we
up
need
that
to.
followership to where
Yeah.
like you got so much weight in your end of things that whoever wants to do business with you is just going to be like, we don't want to do shit. We
Right.
just want to pump some revenue into your show so that it blasts out even further. We just want
Totally.
to give you a bigger
Right.
platform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with Howard Stern. He had whatever 20, 30 years
Yep.
of being on the air,
Yeah.
and then Sirius Satellite came out. I could see that happen where you guys build up enough strength
We're
and
retiring
enough
next week.
equity
Yeah.
to where no matter who comes in, they're just gonna let you be you regardless, like
I
how
hope
Howard
so.
is with Sirius.
I hope
That's
so. Well, you know what? I mean,
Ultimate goal.
yeah.
Okay.
Right now the goal is just to have fun,
Yeah.
and like I don't want to. You know, I want to talk to people who I want to talk to.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like I don't want to have
Someone dictate what you need to like.
right.
interview
Like,
with.
hey, you need somebody in that seat. I'm
Sounds
like,
like
I
you
don't
need
wanna-
Cersei to help negotiate these terms.
Yeah.
She's done wonders for you. Can you
Yes.
bring her in?
That's
Can I
what I'm
have?
saying.
Can we?
That's what I'm
Can we
saying,
get a
like-
meeting? And listen, can we get a meeting? Okay,
There's no-
I'm
yeah.
clearing the table.
I can see something here. That's all
One-
I'm saying. I
one
can just
day-
see something. That's
One
all I'm
day
saying.
we won't be shooting this in my living room.
Maybe we'll be doing it at the Primitive Warehouse or
There you
something.
go.
You know what I mean?
Hey
Like,
man, all I'm saying
I
is
don't know, I'm just,
I
yeah.
see something here. That's all I'm saying. I see things.
It's good. It's good. I mean, you know, when you got Spanish Mike throwing out a text, random text.
Yo, I want to be
You
on the
know
show.
you
want to
made
be
it.
on the show. I'm
Yeah.
like, his name didn't even pop up. He had to say like, "This
was
is
just a
Spanish
number.
Mike." Like,
Yeah.
I want. Like,
And he
I
has
was
no
like-
problem letting you know, like, yo, the Spanish Mike.
But you know
primitive
what?
team
But you know what?
manager.
Like, I love people like that though,
I
because
love
he,
Mike.
he texted, he came, he did it. Boom,
Yeah.
that was it. Like some skaters
He came a day
It's-
early.
came a day early,
Yeah.
but some skaters, it's hard to get them. They're like, "Oh, I want to do it. I want to do it," and then to actually get them in that chair. You know,
Yeah,
there's-
everyone says
they're
they wanna do
skaters.
it.
Oh,
you know,
dude,
it's like
trust
it's tough.
me, man.
It's tough.
I hear you, man. Skateboarders, being one, all of us being one,
Yeah.
we know how we are, dude.
Yeah,
totally.
We are flaky. We are
Yeah.
a lot of not good things because we've spent however long we've been skating learning one thing and one thing only is skateboarding. Anything
Right.
outside
Yeah.
of that, we're pretty much
Like, oh,
brain dead.
responsibility.
Totally.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I
we're a
can't
little
handle that.
spoiled too. I mean,
Totally.
you go on a tour. It's like, oh, here's your plane ticket. You get on the plane. You
Yeah.
land. Oh, here, get in this
Yeah.
van.
Yeah,
Oh wait, here's
trust
your
me.
room key. Like, oh, meet down here. Yeah, meet down here in an hour. We'll go eat, and then
Mhm.
you know, it's like
Yeah.
you don't gotta do anything. You know, a little spoiled.
Yeah, man, trust me.
you know?
I'm spoiled with the best of
So
them. And,
I hear you.
I love it.
But I always thought that was weird though, because I was like, man, if I have to like plan a trip like with my girl or something, if I had a
Oh.
girl and like, you know what I mean? Like, hey, my girl wants to go to Spain or somewhere where I haven't been, you know? And I'm like, I got to plan this trip
Now,
out.
I know
like,
you've been to
do we-
Spain.
Right, okay, but I mean like Russia or
Okay,
something, you know
there
what I
you
mean?
go.
Like somewhere where
Yeah.
I'm like, do we go with a charter group? Like
Yeah.
what, how do I
How do I do this?
Yeah, like do I call,
Yeah.
who am I calling right now? Do I go online?
You call your team
Like-
Yeah, I'll be
manager,
like,
you
yo,
call your team manager.
yo,
What do I do?
Scuba.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go on vacation with my girl. Can you book the flight?
Yeah.
You're
Dude.
gonna hang up on me.
That's some shit right there, man. You know, like
My
you gotta,
girl, my
how
girl
would
booked
you,
a flight to Barcelona for October for us.
October.
Yeah.
Are we taking a hiatus? Okay.
No,
I didn't know
we're gonna
that.
shoot
This is
enough
news to me.
episodes- We're gonna
Okay.
shoot enough
Oh.
episodes so that way no one knows.
What? Fucking leave all the work to me then. I think it'd be funny to try to book something by myself and like
Oh,
go
dude.
and travel there and like check into the hotel and
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Do everything on your own.
I
No,
feel
yeah.
like a fucking idiot saying that. But
no lie,
it's-
I
it's-
can't even answer an email. If an email is like,
Do you have someone
seriously-
answering your emails for you now?
No. If an email, like there'll be people who send emails like 2-3 paragraphs
Oh,
long,
God, yeah.
and I'm like, if it's somebody I know enough, I'll just be like, I'm just gonna call this dude. I can't type all this.
Yeah, I don't want to talk.
Or I'll just respond back.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Something
Sometimes
like that.
that's all that's needed though.
And 9 times out of 10, I'm putting it I'll read it. Yeah, I should probably get back to that, but I'm just gonna mark it as unread so that it still shows up, so I can be remembered to answer it later. Yeah. I never answer it. Yeah. People will be like, "Did you see my email?" And I'm like, and I feel like a jerk.
Right.
Yeah, I saw it. It's just
I've been meaning to.
I'm not good with this email thing. In this day and age, like that's not even a good excuse.
It's really not. No. So when did you? Who was your first board sponsor?
My first skateboard was DNA Skateboards.
Really?
Formerly known as Zorlak, and which later on became known as Plan B when I got on Plan B.
Wait.
Well, DNA and Plan B were still around the same time.
No.
No? They killed DNA? Like
the original Plan B.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the second wave when
when they brought it back, I feel like DNA
was gone.
They killed DNA completely.
Yeah, it was gone at that point.
Because I feel like Jerry Fowler and Jamal and all those guys were still.
No, that was early 2000s, but by the time we came around, I think it was just going away.
Wait, where did City Stars fall into all that?
City Stars was right after DNA.
You had an amazing squad back then.
That was a good
it was
such
squad.
Good
era, such a good time.
Yeah.
But what happened with City Stars? Because it was like they had to change their name or something, or
yeah,
what? Like
that was all before. Like they were all City, right?
Yeah,
and then they were, and then the
they left.
They were Menace, then all City, then City Stars.
And then they left Dwindle or whatever it was at the time.
Yeah.
And started doing their own distribution, right?
Yeah. See, at that time, like I was too young to really know what was going on. Now, having dealt with certain business, I can kind of see and speculate as to what might happen.
Like somebody said, "Hey, you can't use your name."
Right. Like for what I heard, there wasn't trademarks or anything like that on the name. These other companies didn't want those names, so they had to kept changing it.
Number one thing in business. Yeah. It's like
rule number one.
I mean, as it has been proven, it can kill you.
Totally.
It can kill you. But it sucks that they had to change. I mean, man, it really hurt them, I think.
Yeah.
You know?
And at that time, Dwindle was the biggest. It was like Girl Chocolate or Dwindle.
Yeah.
Like that's where you wanted to be.
Right. Dwindle's still pretty damn big.
Of course, but it's not that golden era. Like that was a golden era. Like,
totally.
It was pretty dope.
Absolutely.
Right now, it's the primitive golden era.
Yay.
Hey.
Primitive golden board era.
Yeah, that's right.
Hey.
With some chocolate sprinkles on it.
There you go. Hey. So yeah, I was on City Stars for a little while, and we had a great team. And
who was the team? That was like Mikey Taylor,
Justin Case, Devin Calloway, Kane Gale, Joey Sorrell, Pupecki.
Oh my God, man!
Lee Smith,
Spanky.
Really? I didn't even.
Spanky
I don't remember him on.
Was on. Yeah, he was our boy. Cause me, Mikey, Justin, all of us. That was our skate crew.
Okay.
And Spanky was part of that. Ryan Denman.
Oh, Denman was on.
Yeah, Ryan Denman.
That was a fucking squad.
It was a good squad, man. We had a really good squad.
And Heath was pretty much just running the show there, huh?
Heath was the Spanish Mike of the squad. He was the team manager, the filmer.
Yeah,
he had to wear a lot of hats on that.
Was that after Logic? He did Logic, and then
this was right after Logic. This was him phasing out of Logic and then becoming City Stars. So Heath did the whole street cinema video, filmed, edited the whole thing.
Whose choice was for you to skate to?
That was Kareem.
Kareem.
That was Kareem, and.
What song was it?
It was the song Guy used in Blind Video Days.
Oh.
It was quite a statement at the time.
Mm-hmm.
See, at the time, that flew over my head. That went over my head. At the time, I was
the
like...
older generation is like, I understand what he's saying here.
Yeah, at the time, I had seen the Blind video because I had older skaters that were like, you got to see these videos. They would show me H Street videos, Blind, all the early videos that I was too young to see.
Right.
They schooled me.
Before your time.
And so when they showed me my part, I was like, Guy Mariani used that song already. You don't do that. Like in my head, it's like it's an ABD.
Yeah, right.
I didn't understand what Kareem was like
setting you up for.
Yeah, he was like, just trust me, trust me. And I was like,
it was a smart move.
I was just like, it took me years to finally click in what that was meaning, but I was kind of embarrassed at the premiere, like, oh my God, they're gonna think I'm a kook. Dude,
but how old were you there? You were
when that video came out. It came out in 2002, but I was filming for basically back then. You could spend years filming a video, so it was from 2000. So I was from 15 to when it came out. I was 17.
Okay, I could see that, like 17 years old, like at the premiere, like, oh God.
Yeah, like, I'm stealing this guy's song, like a legend, like, oh my God, I'm gonna look like a jerk, like.
But it was well received, right?
Yeah.
Everybody, you never really.
And
heard
that was a video that everybody had been waiting because like they were promoting it for years and 411, like the
it was like
City Stars video.
There never was a Menace video. There was never an all city video, whatever. Like it was like one of those things like. when the fuck is this ever gonna come out? You know?
Yeah,
People just want to see some like Pupeki footage or
Yeah.
whatever it is, you know, like.
But those are actually like some of my fondest memories in skateboarding. If I'd have realized at that time like how special that would have been looking back, you know, it's a shame when you're living in it, you don't necessarily notice it until you reflect, you know.
Totally. So the City Stars, so that ended, and then you went to
from City
Girl.
Stars I was on Girl.
Oh, you were on Girl.
Yeah,
Okay, right.
We were family
We
there.
were fam. I still consider you fam.
Yeah,
you know?
always. But see, I had left City Stars and I
Wasn't City Stars
had
gonna turn you
sponsor
pro?
this. Yeah, me and Mikey had an ad come out saying they're now pro.
Oh, sick.
And, you know, whatever had happened behind the scenes there, I
Word.
decided to step away.
Yeah.
And I
Did
was
Mikey
just
step
free
away at
agent.
the same time
No.
too? He stuck with
yeah,
it. Okay.
he got himself into a bit of
Oh,
a
shit.
situation
Okay.
by waiting too long.
Yeah.
But I was thankfully, I don't know why or how I even knew to think about this at 16 years old, 17.
17.
You're like, don't make my board.
That's why I was like, man, I better if I'm gonna jump ship, I better at least
Have the
be
common decency
respectful.
to
Yeah,
like tell
enough
Before
to,
they spend the money,
Before they
yeah.
spend the money to make the product, so I jump ship. And from there, I floated around a good few weeks, a month. I really didn't know who I wanted to ride for, what I wanted to do. Deirdre, this was back when Seek was going on. Deirdre was talking
That's
about
right.
riding for Seek.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was just floating around, like really, like, you know, just like, man, I don't know who do I want to try and ride for this guy, and then I go to skate Sylmar High School, which was back then like my favorite spot,
The Blue
like every
Rails?
weekend, yeah.
Okay.
And I went with Atiba and Costin to Sylmar, and we just went out, skated, whatever.
And you knew Costin.
I knew Eric because
Yeah.
I was on S,
Okay. Oh,
and
that's right.
and I knew Tiba. Obviously, he shot all the S ads and whatever. And then I just remember we were driving, and Eric just turns around like, "Hey, do you want to ride for Girl?" And I was just like, this is my hero.
Yeah.
This is the guy
This is
like
the
I
dude.
like literally like tried to become.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. And I just remember,
Just put you
I'll
on the
never
spot.
forget this. He
Yeah.
turned around, picked up his phone, and he was talking to Howard, and he was like, "We got him." That's literally
We
what he
got
said.
him.
We got him. And I was just like, oh my God. Next day was Monday. He took me down to the warehouse, gave me everything I wanted. Even though I was technically pro on City Stars, my boards were never made. So
Yeah.
like when I got on Girl, my board they
They
gave
turned
me
you
my-
pro instantly.
Well, I was already pro, so
Okay.
it was like
Yeah.
I was.
How did
technically
you
al-
prove it though? If you don't have a board on the
Because I had an ad in a magazine that said I was pro. Me and Mike Taylor were pro. Like,
So Rick's like,
look,
yeah,
look, Rick.
yeah. So
That's
it was just like they gave me the. I remember it was the Muchachita
Muchachita.
board.
Mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
and they were like, this was everybody's first pro board. That
The
was on
OGs,
Girl.
yeah.
Yeah.
OGs, yeah.
Well, I was on cloud nine.
Yeah,
You know,
I bet.
it was. Yeah, those are really, really special moments. I just remember me. I was like, you know, coming from the City Stars lifestyle, I was all into like, you know, Kareem. It's Kareem's fault. I love jewelry and like, shiny things and hip hop music and all that. So like, you know, the first time I saved enough money, I got me a little Mercedes.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
So like, I'm
Just flossing.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
flossing, and I got my little Mercedes. I got my board, my first pro board, and then like, you know, we're just going out and skating in LA, like LACC. We got Belmont
Yep.
High, all these different spots where we're filming all the green screen. I don't know. I don't have a particular story, but those memories are flooding my mind right now. So after Girl, one day out of the blue, out of nowhere, I got a call from Danny Way.
Wow.
Danny Way himself.
Just throwing it out there.
He's
Cold
like,
call.
yep, we're looking to bring back Plan B. We're going to do it, but we don't want to do it unless we have the team that we want. You're one of the guys we want. What do you say? And I'm just like, oh, my gosh.
Jesus
Like,
Christ.
I had no intentions of
And
going
what were you,
anywhere.
like
I was
18,
happy as-
19, something
I
like
was-
that?
this was-
20?
This was 2005, so I was 20. It was winter because I remember it was raining. And Danny called me, and this was the time he called me. Then when I finally said yes, I was like, all right, I'll do it. And I was perfectly happy where I was. I
Right,
just want
right.
to make sure that's clear. Like,
Yeah.
I was happy. I was on all my dream sponsors that I ever thought of when I was a little kid at the beginning. And Danny called me with this convincing, like, we're going to make it legendary. We're going to make it back to the way it was. We want you, PJ Ladd. We want Ryan Gallant. You guys are going to be the new, you know, leaders of the company, and, like, really razzle-dazzling me, right? And, like, yeah, you guys all going to have ownership in the brand, everything. I was like, oh, my God, this is crazy. Like, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And I I remember I was so scared. And I called Rick.
How was that conversation?
I was terrified, man. I was terrified. I called him. It was raining bullets outside. I remember it was just dumping. And I called Rick. Hey, Rick, it's Paul. Hey, dude, I think I'm gonna quit girl. Yeah. He's like, what? He's like, why? For who? I was like, oh, well, at this point, Danny was like, you can't say anything but what it is, what you're doing.
Wow.
You can't tell anybody anything. It's still under wraps. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, the thing is, I can't really talk about it. Like, he's like, so who is it? What's going on? What are you doing? And I was like, I can't really talk about it. It just feels right. I think I want to do it. Thank you. I appreciate it. He's like, well, can you at least come in and talk about it? I was like, well, it's raining really bad outside. I was like, I live pretty far from Torrance, and I don't feel good driving in this weather right now. You know, he's like,
that's definitely a face-to-face conversation.
Yeah. I was scared. I was like, I was 20. I was scared. Still Rick Howard. I'm stuck in between Rick Howard and Danny Way, dude. I'm like, oh gosh, this is tough. So the next day, he calls me up, and it's shining beautifully outside. He's like, hey, so can you at least, I don't know how he found it or whatever, but he said, hey, so can you at least come down here and talk to us before you go ride for Plan B? And I was like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, yeah, I guess I can go down there. And then I go down there. I'm trembling, dude. I'm trembling. And I'm sitting in the room with him, Mike, and Megan. And I'm like, oh.
Wow. That had been a crazy one.
So intimidated, man. I was so like, I was just like, yeah. They're like, so what's up, man? What are you gonna do? Like, and they finally squeezed it out of me. Yeah, we know you're gonna ride for Plan B. Like, blah blah blah. Yeah. I was like, well, how did you find out? Like, doesn't matter. Like, so what's up, man? You want to do that? Are you sure that's what you want to do? I was like,
everyone in the industry talks to one another. They all know what's going on.
Right,
so like,
there's
no secrets at all. Like none whatsoever. Like
somebody knows. And somebody's talking.
Like,
And I just remember the only thing I could say was, well, I'm just trying to be like you guys. Like, you guys left Plan B to start something. I just want to go be a part of starting something.
Yeah.
And it just so happens, ironically, I was leaving girl to go to start
B.
Plan B.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And so
they were probably like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they were they weren't psyched at the time. And so to this day, I mean, I still see him. I'm still cool with him. I actually saw Carol yesterday at the barracks, but I still have those little kid memories and feelings of like, oh shit, like, hey dude, like,
those are tough moments, man, for a kid.
Yeah.
Especially in skateboarding, man.
Totally.
It's such a close knit community, and like you I'm looking up to everybody, and just, oh man, it's like,
yeah, like I'm over here. I'm like, I'm about to piss off my heroes, and not to mention, Costin, my biggest hero.
Yeah.
My holy grail skateboarder.
Yeah. So did you call Costin?
Eric,
Did you?
Yeah, I called him. I let him know, like, Eric,
Did you talk to anyone before you made the call to Rick? Like,
no.
You know, you're just like, all right, I gotta call Rick now.
Yeah. It was just, I was talking to Danny, and this is Danny Way, and he talks so confidently, and so, he's got a real authority in his voice. He's a man. He's a manly man, and I was a not manly 20-year-old kid, and it was okay, like, and
he's probably picking up the phone like, watch this.
He's like,
he's like,
hey, Paul.
Yeah, I just remember him say, like, we don't want to do it unless we have the team we have, and you're one of the guys we have to have, so we're not going to do it unless we get you. Like, I'm like, fuck, man. But at this time, I had already had to call Eric before. Man, I can't believe I had, because now I'm even more terrified if I have to leave sponsors.
Right.
But back then, I had to do it a few times in such a short amount of time, because I had left S to go to Nike. Yep. And I had to I called Eric, because he's the guy who got me on all these things, so, and he was my hero. So I called Eric, hey dude, I think I'm gonna ride for Nike, and like, yes. But then it's cool, because now we're teammates again.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
Yeah.
Full circle.
Yeah.
One thing I've noticed about you with Nike is like you've had like 9 shoes now. How many shoes?
9. Yeah.
9. Like, you're like on the.
Actually, I have a sample of my 10th shoe in the trunk.
Yeah.
Well, let's bring it out. Let's put it on. Let's see what's going on with it.
You're like following like almost like Jordan's, like Michael Jordan's path in a way.
Well, let's not get too carried
away.
But
what I mean,
I'm
like
associated
you're
with a
coming out
similar brand. But,
the association's there, but I mean, like, you're coming out with just all these different shoes. Was that something you built into your contract? Like, why wouldn't you do like what Stefan did and come out with one shoe that just fucking kills it?
You don't think I've been trying?
No, I didn't know if it was like, hey, it's in your contract to like come out with something different.
No.
It's like, why would Stefan need to come out with another shoe,
yeah.
right? It's like,
Dude,
you know.
he just hit it so fucking hard
He
on
nailed
the
it.
head.
Yeah.
Right.
So good. First try.
First tee.
There's no need.
Yeah. Right.
I'm sure if
100 years from now,
yeah.
his shoe will be
He's in there in
like
history
the Chuck
with
Taylor.
Chuck Taylor and
Yeah.
Stan
It's
Smith.
crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So, I'm sure had I had the fortune of having that happen,
Right.
I would still just be on the original P-Rod or whatever number
But
that
I'll tell
it
you
had
what,
happened
though, there's
at.
nothing wrong with having
Oh, no,
10
no.
plus shoes.
I just
Not a
thought-
damn
Nike.
thing.
Yeah.
Not
You
a
know
damn
what I
Not a
mean?
damn thing at
Like,
all.
that is
No.
fucking amazing.
I just didn't know if it was
100%
like a if you were a fan of Jordan, you're like, oh, I want to have the P-Rod 1, the P-Rod 2, like whatever else. Or if that
No.
was like built into your contract.
No. Well, only thing was built into my contract is just a signature shoe. Because when they first approached me, I had samples of my S shoe, my signature shoe. I had sample. I was already skating them, and ironically, those ended up being the Costin 5.
Really?
Yeah, the Costin 5 on S was actually originally my shoe.
Oh,
I had
wow.
still have samples at home
No
with my name
way.
on them.
Funny.
Yeah, but to his credit, he actually designed that shoe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Eric designed it, and like they gave me that design. So he designed it, so it ultimately was meant to be his shoe. My dream was always to be on S. S was I knew for sure that's what I wanted to be on. And so they came to me and they talked to me and they flew me down to the campus. They wowed me with the campus. Like, we'd really love to have you on the team. And then when it came down talking about it, my manager, Cersei, who was doing all the dirty work, the hard work of like the negotiating,
Right.
was like, yeah, they want to do this and this and this. I was like, well, but what about, do I get a signature shoe? And like, nah, they don't want to give anybody a shoe. They don't do signature shoes for skateboarding. I was like, well, and I don't know what, I had the young, naive ability
but I
to
wanna
stick
see
to
your
my
shoe.
guns.
Right.
And I was just like, well, but I have a shoe right here, a sample of a shoe.
At the time, too,
And that was
everybody's
my
getting their
dream to get a signature shoe. I was like,
yeah.
my professional skateboarding dream won't be complete without the
Yeah,
signature
right,
shoe. That's
yeah.
what my thought was.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, I don't want to do it if I can't get a shoe. And,
That would've been a deal
and
breaker.
Yeah, it was a deal
Yeah.
breaker.
Wow.
And not in like a cocky way, not in like a damn it if I don't. It was
Yeah.
like, well, but I have a shoe here, and like, but I don't want to not have a shoe.
And that's
like-
skateboarding. Everybody's
Yeah,
got the pro
you gotta have a
shoes.
pro
Yeah,
shoe. Like,
that's it.
and so she told them, and they ended up coming around. Thank God.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't know what my life would have been like if they said, "All
Seriously.
right, too bad."
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that went, and I was like, okay, if they say they will do it, hell yeah, I'll do it then.
Hell yeah.
And so so then I had to have the conversation with Eric about that, and then I had a conversation about Eric about girl. Like, I
Right.
felt so bad as my hero, and at one point I had every single same sponsor he had.
Yeah.
And
It's like every time the phone rings and he sees Paul's name.
yeah,
God
now it's like,
damn it,
fuck,
now what?
Here we
yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Great.
What now, Paul?
Yeah.
So you've been on Nike, what, 10 years?
12
12.
since
So the first
04.
couple years you didn't have a shoe, and then they gave you a shoe.
Yeah, you know,
to-
it takes like a
Seems
year
like every
or so
year they had
process to
the-
get a shoe.
Right. So you're okay, yeah. So 9's out right now. You're working on 10.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. And
nice.
the first couple shoes was every 2 years I got a shoe, and then
Oh, okay.
starting from the fourth shoe, it was every year.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
There's
You
not many
know,
people on this planet that can say, I have 10 shoes on Nike.
Matter of
Yeah.
fact, there's only 4.
Is there?
Mm.
Jordan. Who else?
LeBron,
LeBron.
Kobe, and your boy.
Wow.
Not bad. Not bad. I gotta call Nike, man. I gotta talk to him about some things. You know what I mean? Like, who do I talk to
Can
over
we get
there?
Chris
Do
a
I-
box
yeah,
over here
I-
first?
yeah,
Yeah,
who do I
man, we
talk
gotta
to
call
over there?
Casper up.
There we go,
Yeah,
Casper.
or
yeah.
Scuba. You know, you know
well, I
Scuba,
gotta
yeah.
go out a little higher. No offense, Scuba.
Oh,
but, you know, I gotta get up. I gotta talk to the head honchos, man. I gotta talk to Phil.
Phil,
I gotta talk
my
to
boy
Phil Knight. Yeah. I gotta.
I just read that book, man, Shoe Dog.
Oh really? I've never.
A Phil Knight memoir. It's-
Okay.
Man, I already love Nike
Yeah,
since I've been on,
yeah.
but I got a lot more respect of where the brand came from, hearing the tale from the start. It's
Wow.
really
I gotta
rad.
check it out, man.
It's a
I've
really
heard
good
about
book.
it, yeah.
Really good book.
Let's talk Primitive. I kind of love how Primitive kind of started. It was a shop.
Yeah.
It turned into an apparel brand.
Uh-huh.
And then when you left Plan B, you had no plan, right?
Yeah, I had no plan B.
Yeah.
So
you
why
had
did
no-
you? It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Was there a point of like, all right, I already own this store. I own this.
Oh, so you
clothing brand.
You started Primitive before when you were on Plan B.
Yeah, Primitive's been around since 2008. We actually just last weekend celebrated our 8-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you.
But you did the gold foil boards, like a limited run. You sold out of them like instantly.
Yeah, but that was an experiment. So
Yeah.
so
So you had it in your mind.
Was it to like
No.
all right, let's see how many
No.
boards I can sell.
where do I start this story? So I had a brief. I'll try
Start
and do
after
a
leaving
brief,
Plan B.
a brief
How-
synopsis.
How did you leave?
Okay,
leave Plan
after
B and
leaving
how
Plan
did-
B. Okay,
yeah.
okay, I'll do that.
Yeah. How was it calling Danny Way now? If you had to.
Yeah, trust me, that was terrifying. Like I said a little bit ago, like now I'm more terrified to quit sponsors than back then. I don't know how I
Right.
had the strength to do it. It's terrifying. It's like it's literally breaking up with a
Seriously,
significant
yeah.
other. It's so bad.
What was like the tipping point or the breaking point for you leaving Plan B? Was it like just kind of like I think I can do this on my own?
Well, it wasn't necessarily a tipping or breaking point. It was more like I realized, thankfully and thank God, everything I prayed for, everything I worked for as a little kid and dreamt about had come to fruition. And I was in a unique position to where I realized, like, I had the ability to be a person to start a brand,
Mhm.
like how Reynolds did with Baker.
Right.
Mhm.
Like where I felt, I
The
had
timing was right.
there was a window there that, obviously in any type of physical activity, sports, skating, whatever it is, like
mhm.
your physical abilities, there's a window and the window gets smaller all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, if I don't make a move, I'm going to miss my window. I talked to Andy at Primitive and I talked to Heath and Andy was like, it only makes sense. Like Andy was like, well, we should, if you're going to, he called me, I remember one day, Paulie, if you're going to do anything, at least give me a conversation because I've always wanted to be a part of a board brand. And then it just dawned on me, like, I have Primitive. I have a brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it would make sense for me to make Primitive skateboards? That would only make more sense to just plug into that.
Yeah.
I had to call Danny and Colin, but I kept putting it off to the point where I showed up in a contest in Germany with my board spray painted gold. Denman was out there. He was the team manager at Plan B at the time, and still is. Oh, no, I don't think Denman was out there. He saw it through Instagram or something that I'd posted a board, gold board, no Plan B sticker, just all my other sponsors, and it's blank gold board.
Did you do that on purpose, or did you?
Yes, because here's basically what happened. I was so intimidated about making the call to say I'm going to leave, to where I basically forced myself into a corner to like confront the situation. All right, I'm putting it out there. I get a call from Colin while I'm out there. And he's like, hey, man, like, whatever, you want to spray paint your board? Colin's so laid back. He's chill. Yeah, hey, man, you want to do that? Yeah, cool. But if you could, just throw a Plan B sticker. And then I had to be like, well, actually, I think I'm going to try something different. I basically forced myself into, like, basically having him call me because I had called him plenty of times and hung up before the first ring. I'd put the number in the phone. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'll do it tomorrow. It was always tomorrow, and it never happened. So that's kind of how it is, man. And it's not the way you should, kids. That's not the way you should do things. It makes it worse. You putting it off actually makes it worse and harder.
Go sit down, have a face-to-face conversation with that person.
Yeah, if you're just straight up,
Yeah.
straight up and to the point.
It's
I
much
think people
more respect to be had.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody likes being the second person to hear something.
Right. Just it's not a good look on your
is
behalf.
Right.
And the gold theme was an accident. Going back to what you said about asking about the boards that sold out, it was when I was spray painting my boards. I had went to the Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever it was and bought spray paint. And I remember I bought white, black, and gold. And I was just gonna spray paint my boards all kinds of different colors, just
you had
have
no
fun with
intention
it.
just being gold.
But I would spray paint the white and the black on different boards, and there would be like little puddles of the paint would puddle up, and I didn't like the way it looked, and it would stay sticky. It would stay sticky on there, like it would never fully dry.
Yeah.
But the gold
Long,
was the
slow
only
strokes.
color that went on smooth and dried all the way.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, fuck, I'll just stick with the gold. I kind of like the way it looks. And then I would post it on Instagram, and then after a couple months of that, I was like, man, I haven't had a pro board in the market for a while. And I told Heath, I was like, I just want to do an experiment, man. Let's just make a certain number of boards in gold and just put them out there. The blank gold boards. People say they would buy, they want it. Let's just throw them out there.
See if it happens, yeah.
So Heath masterminded the whole actually going back a little bit, I was getting boards from Bareback to test out wood, and they had sent me a board since they saw that I was spray painting all my boards gold. They sent me a board gold foiled, like, hey, we see you're spray painting them.
Here you go.
Here, check this out. And it looked amazing. I was like, oh shit, it's just a gold foil. It looks amazing. It's
Yeah.
sick.
Right.
And I asked Heath, he was in contact with them, and I was like, yeah, can you ask them just keep sending them?
Yeah.
And so, like, you know, I would Instagram those, post them up, and people were loving it on Instagram. Like, comments, you should make that. That'd be amazing. I'd get that. And I was like, Heath, let's try it out. Let's make a few, put them on the website, and see if it works.
Right.
So that's what we did. Heath masterminded. All right, well, they should all be numbered and signed by you. We did a whole. We filmed a whole bunch of content, and every day for the whole week, we released a new video on Instagram and on my website. Every day, whether it was me saying, like, this date at this time, I'm dropping 500 boards. You can only get them, boom, boom, boom. And they dropped. It was in December. It was like at midnight. I forget which exact date it was. And I was actually in Argentina on a Nike trip. And my girl was running the website, and she actually was handling all the shipping. And I get a call, wake me up out of bed, like, I look at the phone, it's like 4:05. She's like, they're gone. They're all gone. They sold out in 2 minutes. They're gone. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, that's crazy. Like, I was so excited.
Did you expect that at all, or were you like,
no?
Did you not know what was going to happen?
Me and Heath were talking about, like, dude, if we sell 500 boards in the first
that once
week,
a month.
Yeah, that's what the plan originally was. You know, like,
maybe
so
we'll sell out by the end of the week or the end of the month. Or
so
something.
Me and Heath were like, man, if we get 500 boards and if we can sell them out in a week, we crushed it.
Right.
We killed the game. So for it to happen instant was beyond what we expected. So
what had happened in
a
couple hours or something? It was.
It happened in 2 minutes.
2
sold
minutes.
Out in 2 minutes. By 12 o'clock they were released. 12:02 they were all
How did
booked.
the website?
Matter of fact, we sold 60 more than we had.
Oh.
And we had to refund 60 people boards because it just all happened too fast.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
You couldn't cut it off in time. Wait, so how did the website handle that traffic and stuff? Like,
it was a struggle.
Like,
it was a struggle.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You hear about websites crashing all the time.
I mean, you know, And so, dude, it
that's
worked
crazy.
way better than I thought.
Wow.
And then after that, we were in the talks of, like, this is still when we weren't sure what exactly we're going to do, but we knew we could do something, and that even proved it even more. So then we worked out what it was going to take to do it through Primitive, and then we had the gold bar board drop, and, you know, we had talked to Carlos Ribeiro and Nick Tucker, who were both floating around sponsor free. I was like, what the hell is the matter with this industry? You got these two guys both on flow for these other companies. And Carlos, I was actually trying to get him on Plan B.
Oh, wow.
And Heath and I approached, I think it was Tyrone at LRG. And I'm like, hey, man, we just want to talk to Carlos, see if there's any interest there. Like, we want him on. There's no trial period. We love this guy. We've been a fan for a long time. We want him.
Yeah.
And same thing with Nick. I think he was getting Expedition boards or something like that at the time. Just flow, just killing it. And it's like, boom, perfect. Me, Carlos, Nick will launch with that. And luckily they were into the idea. They believed in us. And
that's
here we are, man.
Right, yeah.
Still going.
Well, you guys are killing it, dude.
Thank you.
You guys got one of my favorite dudes on there.
Who, Dev?
My man, Dev, man.
Yeah, Dev, man. Come on, man. With the City Stars Connect.
I know.
One of the most stylish guys.
I mean,
He's
not
got
only
the
that, not only
smile,
on the board, but off
person.
the board. Like, God, he's such a great guy, man. So are you guys going to do a video or something, man? Because, like,
please tell me you're doing a video.
Listen, that video would be bonkers.
Yeah.
A lot of the guys want to do a video part. I would never hold back anybody from wanting to do.
Are you over the video process?
Yes.
I don't blame you.
Dude, I hear you. How many video parts you've had?
13.
13?
Gnarly.
God damn.
Yeah.
What if it's just like all fun footage? What if you took the chop on this approach?
No
pressure, just like out having fun.
It's not about external pressure, it's the internal pressure.
Yeah, you want to outdo yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the personal standard that you have for yourself, and you know, I don't want to put out anything that I don't think will outdo my last thing personally.
Right.
And the way that content gets eaten up and spit out these days, so just here today, gone tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's no lasting power. And that's even with some of the best video parts.
Yeah, it's sad.
Absolutely.
As the skater who has to put in the work and do it, as the person wanting to present that, the juice doesn't feel worth the squeeze.
You work 3-4 years on something, you know, it's
For
like,
3-4 weeks worth of buzz.
yeah, I know.
Just doesn't feel good. And I'm not against it. I love all the new skaters. I love the new era. I love how things are. I'm not one of those guys who's like, no, it should have been this way. This is the way it was. And it has I'm not saying that at all. You know, and
What
if
if
I
it was
were
like-
20, 21 years old right now, I would have no problem
Yeah.
pumping out this or that and this, that, you know. And the guys want to do video. I'm not here to hold them back.
Yeah, but you're just like, I'm not doing a part. I'll have a couple tricks.
Well, you should maybe start the video and see what happens, man. Maybe you'll get sparked. Maybe
I mean, I'm
you go on a few
dude, I'm
trips.
sparked.
And
It's just a matter of like outdoing yourself. You kind of feel like.
Yeah, man. You know, it's hard personally. You know, looking back, and if I go out and I try to film a trick and you just put it up against things I've got in the past, and I'm like, you know, is this improving on anything I've done? Am I adding to a legacy? Am I just kind of maintaining? Am I, you know, you know.
But I know what you're saying. But at the same time, like, you're skateboarding.
Yeah.
So you gotta like.
You're out there doing it anyways.
I do that anyway, no
Yeah.
problem. But
Why not just like, all right, get some clips, stack them, and
yeah, but it's not about just I have a few clips that I like that I'm proud of.
Yeah.
But for me, it's about the quality. Definitely not about the quantity.
Mhm.
I came up in an era where it's like the in-between era, where it's like VHS was gone, DVDs were coming in, and DVDs are gone, and it's the internet age. And I came up kind of like in the mix of all that. I don't have a what's the word? A bias to one side or the other.
Mhm.
But I just gotta be honest with myself, and I gotta look at where I'm at and the stage I'm at and where I'm at, and I don't want to put out anything subpar, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and for me to put out a part that I think can compare with my last video part that I put out, it's gonna take real time, and by the time it takes to do that, and it comes out another year, 2 years, or whatever, however long that takes. Technology is only going to be that much more evolved, and content's going to only be that much more absorbed so much faster, and so it just doesn't feel like that effort
is worth it.
is worth how it's going to be
appreciated. Maybe.
Yeah, and even the guys who are putting out some of the most insane, amazing, the new era, new generation of the most incredible skateboarders there are, even that footage doesn't necessarily, I feel, and just in my opinion, it just feels like it just comes in and gets buried under another pile of content
Absolutely.
pretty quick.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I don't want to slow progress either.
Right.
Well, I think that the way content comes out right now so fast, that's also the reason why kids are getting good so fast.
Yeah, it's like the 401 generation.
Yeah, you're just being fed this content. This is the level of that. Boom, I'm getting this much better. And I don't want to slow that progress, the progression up in skateboarding. I want to see where it can go. I want to see how far it can be taken.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just looking at myself at, you know, at the age I'm at. I still feel good. I still love skating a lot. I still feel like I have a lot to offer, but I don't know that mold works for my situation.
No, but all I'm saying is I think you guys should do a video, man. I mean,
I
I'm
would
just
love to see a
saying that
video
like
from
it would
you
be and even if you don't want to do a part for it or whatever, maybe sprinkle your tricks throughout the video.
That's what Mike
people's
was telling me
parts, you
today
know what
at
I mean?
lunch.
Go
Like,
away days gone style.
yeah, do some shit, you know?
You know,
I mean,
I'm not against
have fun.
anything.
Have fun with it, you know?
That's all I
You
do.
got
is
some
have
amazing
fun.
dudes on there.
Definitely.
Have fun with
put
it.
something
you know?
to document all those amazing dudes. Like,
Yeah.
do your goldfish.
You know,
know?
Carlos Ribeiro is the one who's brought it up to me a couple times.
Yeah.
You know, he's a beast. Him and Trent and
all them dudes, man.
and Diego.
Oh,
Those dudes
yeah.
get footage like it's nothing.
Nothing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they get, and it's great footage.
Yeah.
Totally.
Great quality.
Every time I see a clip of those dudes, I'm like, God damn.
I'm so proud, man. I'm so
Yeah.
proud to watch them and see the team we put together and all that. And I'm totally fine with that happening. I guess I'm
Yeah.
just saying, me on my personal,
Right.
I gotta just be. You just gotta. Sometimes you just gotta be real with yourself and honest with yourself and assess your situation, where you at, and it's like, I just refuse to put something out that's just gonna be like, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I definitely feel you
Yeah.
on that, you know. But
For myself.
That's how we feel about the show.
Which is not me saying that I would hold back a whole primitive video initiative because of I don't want
of course,
for myself.
we know,
I would,
we know
I
what
would
you're saying.
Yeah.
totally
but
be down.
me and probably
Of
everybody
course,
else
there would
out
be
there.
something of me in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying that me and everybody else out there would love to see
You skate.
You skate.
Appreciate
You know
that.
what I mean?
Thank
Like
you.
that's
Yeah.
we've been watching you for years, man.
Hey,
You know
thanks,
what I mean?
man.
Well, think about it. You know, like
no, it's
do
definitely
some,
a
you know,
thought,
maybe
and it's
get the
definitely something I need to
project,
figure
you
out
know.
because street footage. I do need some street footage out there, and I still got love for the streets and street
Yeah.
footage. You know.
It's just
Of
hard.
course.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm in a place right now of like reflecting in my situation and career, and reflecting on like what do I want to do from here? What do
Yeah.
I want to do at this point? You know.
What about like the last video part that you had?
Mm-hmm.
What video was that? That was
It's 2010, dude.
2000,
Me,
really?
myself, and I.
so
Yeah,
It was
my
a solo
own
project.
solo part.
solo.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
that
right.
was supposed to be my Plan B video part, but the rest of the team
Wasn't
wasn't
ready.
ready to put a part out.
See, look at that.
When
huh?
we were when I thought we were filming for a team video, turns out I apparently was the only one who's taking that serious. So it came to a point where it was like, guys, I got all this footage that I feel
What do
really
I-
good
I wanna
about,
do
but
it, yeah.
if nobody else has any footage or nobody else has a part ready to go, and it's going to be another couple years,
I'm
this
si-
shit's going to get old
Right.
and stale. I'm putting
Absolutely.
it out.
But what I'm saying is like, are you, if you don't film for another part, like, are you happy that that was your last part? Because I know in your mind now you're like, oh, well that
Yeah, it'd be a
that can't be my last part. Maybe like I could do better.
And at the
I could-
time,
you
I
know.
wouldn't have thought it would have been. And I'm not still saying it is for
Right.
sure. I'm
I know-
not
I know.
guaranteeing
I
that.
know.
But at this moment in time,
You just want to skate and not deal with that
Yeah.
bullshit.
yeah, like I always
Yeah.
see comments of people like, "You're always at the skate park. Go
Right.
to the streets."
Oh yeah, I
I
got a
get
comment
that.
like that today.
And I respect that. I respect that, and I do think people need to be in the streets, and
Yeah.
that's where the real proving grounds.
Okay.
Totally.
Yep.
But I'm also at a point where I'm like, you know what? Just let me live, man. Let me be,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I got 13 under my belt.
That's a good. Yeah.
Let me live. You know what? If I just want to skate the park and I want to put a little Instagram clip out with my dogs at
Totally.
the park,
Yeah. Absolutely.
you know, I think I've earned that.
Yeah.
But you know
I
what?
think I'm okay. I can do that.
Actually, 14 is a good number.
It
man.
is.
It's a good number.
It's a good
13's
number.
a little
You
weird
know what I
number.
mean? 13 is my lucky number, but 14's a good number.
Yeah.
Just telling you. That's
No,
all I'm
I
saying.
appreciate it,
You know.
and I'm not saying it won't.
Yeah.
It's,
Well, I hope you do.
It could be fun. It would be nice, and if I did, I would go into it as, all right, this would be my last part.
Yeah. Yeah. Just think of it like Kobe.
Man, it's
You know
just so
Kobe's last
weird.
game.
Yeah,
You know what
drop
I mean?
60 on him.
You know what I'm saying? Like he
Insane.
just fucking.
That could be
like-
the part.
Yeah.
It's a 60-second drop 60 on him. That would be the name of it. P-Rod 60 on him.
right. Boom. NBA
Yeah.
players inspire me a lot.
Me too.
I'm just saying, like I watch like championship videos, I
Mhm.
watch Michael Jordan
Totally.
videos, and I'm like, God, this is inspiring
Mhm.
shit. These people work so goddamn hard.
Totally.
They're up before the sunrise.
Mhm.
They're eating a good breakfast. They're doing. What do you eat for breakfast? Do you have a?
Lately I've been on a program where I go to Robex. Shout out to
Oh, yeah,
Robex.
okay.
I get an acai bowl
Oh,
in the
there you
morning,
go.
ginger shot, and
Ginger
I get a coffee at the Coffee Bean.
And that's it.
That's my little start off to the day.
Okay. But that
Like-
sounds good though. Robex, you said.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start
Robex.
doing. I'm gonna go on your little diet. Maybe I could win myself a street league trophy.
You know
if
what I mean?
Go on
You
this
got
diet.
that.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't have one already?
What do you mean?
No,
You
I
don't need a
don't.
diet. You need to eat.
What do you?
We gotta get
I
you
know. I have
some
5.
steak in
I
the
need
morning.
5 pounds,
Look at
man.
this.
5. Don't be fucking showing my farmer's tan, man. You know, I don't have my summer body ready, man. You know, I don't. Have,
Ribeye
dude, I swear, man.
and baked
Well,
potato.
so,
right.
Spanish said we were gonna go to Roost Chris after this, but I think it's too late, man.
Yeah.
I think we
Yeah,
missed that.
Spanish is
Since you
paying.
put in the
We
permit
missed
card.
that,
Yeah. Nah, we can put that on the Spanish card.
yeah.
Let's talk about contests.
Okay.
You have won like 4 X Games,
Mm-hmm.
2 street leagues,
3.
3 street leagues,
Damn. Okay. Right,
Tampa
man.
Pro,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Battle of the Barracks.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, I'm sure you placed well on Dew Tours, whatever else. And
I have a couple Dew Tour
Yeah.
stops, wins.
what was the most important win for you?
This last one in Munich.
Oh, really?
Street
Mhm.
league?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, it was my first one in 3 years.
Okay.
It was my first one being in my 30s. And quite honestly, it took me by surprise. I was...
Didn't even think you were gonna win.
Not. I guess my train of thing is, every time I go into a competition, I go with the intent to put my best effort forth to try to win.
Mhm.
I believe somewhere in there, the ability to do it is within me to win.
Right. Okay.
But I also know that it's within every single other person
Totally.
in Street League.
Yeah.
It's
So
some
I'm not
stiff
going there
competition
They
then.
all
like
want it.
diluted that like I got this.
Yeah.
Right.
So I've accepted the fact that it's quite possible I may never see a win again in Street League
Gotcha.
or whatever. It's
Okay.
quite possible.
Right.
Mhm.
So the fact that it happened this last Street League in Munich. Should I wait for the siren?
What the fuck are these guys
Anyway,
doing?
yeah.
It's like the fourth siren. What the hell?
We
They're
live
like,
in Venice, bro.
go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, so this last one in Munich, when I was very thankful, fortunate, and blessed to do it, it was a surprise. I mean, I went in there thinking, if I landed the tricks I intend to land, I think I put myself in a good position and potentially
Yeah,
could win.
right.
But when it actually really happens, it's so surreal. Like, whoa, dude, you know who we're skating against. Like,
Yeah.
in my opinion, there's no better lineup
That's
of
crazy.
people
And they're
in the
competition.
world.
Yeah.
Right.
on skateboards than that lineup right there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
But
it's
I mean,
hard.
if I was in there too,
Yeah,
could,
exactly.
like-
It's
yeah,
very
but I mean,
hard
you
to
know,
find a better
get you.
lineup
Yeah.
Thank you.
in this world full of 7 billion people. It's hard to find it. So like the fact that I'm standing here, like, really, like, today was my day,
Yeah.
and I was the oldest dude in the finals by, I think the next closest dude was like 5 years
Really?
younger than me.
That's not
Wow.
bad, dude.
And so
Huh.
it's like I was really caught off guard. Like, wait, really? Like, are you sure you didn't check the scoreboard? Like, and like, it took everything within me not to fully bust out in
Wow.
tears, crying. I was just trying to like keep it together, keep it together,
Yeah,
keep it
yeah.
together.
You
What's
have
that?
more wins than you.
Maybe.
And
God
I
willing,
think you do.
maybe, God willing, and hopefully, and maybe we'll see. But the fact that I got this one, I'm at a stage in life and career where it's just, I'm in a really appreciative stage in my career right
Yeah.
now. Very appreciative of everything that's gone on, and some of the things that we've talked about today, all the history in the past. I'm very appreciative of all of that stuff, and I'm just in a phase where I'm just thankful for everything. So so for that to happen again,
Right.
and I'm 31 now. I was like, man, I didn't know.
You're so young.
You're
so fucking young,
in the
dude.
scope of actual life, but
Yeah.
in the scope of physical capabilities, and whether people think of it as athletic or not, like with the athletic capabilities,
Yeah.
31 is not so young.
Yeah.
So it's
Totally.
like,
But then you see someone like Tony's doing fucking 900s at what, 49,
Right.
50 years old?
Right.
Whatever.
and that's so inspiring.
Right.
I
Yeah,
love
Yeah.
it.
But when you're in the contest and you're doing the tricks,
Mhm.
are you like, man, I'm on fire right now? Like I can't miss a trick. Or like if you keep landing tricks and you keep landing tricks and then are you like, oh, do you get more nervous then? If you keep landing a trick and then you're like, God, if I mess up now.
There has been phases when that's happened.
You know what I mean?
But I'm also at a place now where I think it's working in my favor mentally, where it's like, I hope it just doesn't come off wrong, but I just am like, I feel like I don't have anything to prove.
Right.
I feel
You
good
proved
about
yourself
I
for
feel
sure.
good
Yeah.
about, skateboarding and everything I've been able to be a part of in skateboarding. I feel good about it. I don't feel like I have to prove anything.
Right.
So that gives me a certain level of comfort. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can go in there. I can just do what I hope to do.
could just
If
do
it
you.
works out, it
Yeah,
works out. If
right.
it doesn't, it doesn't. Whatever.
Yeah.
I feel good about it. So
I like that.
I have a mental state where it's like, it's chill.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go out. That doesn't mean I'm not trying my best. I'm
course,
trying my
right.
best, for sure. I can only focus on what I can do.
Yeah.
I can't focus on the next guy and worry about what he's doing. Oh, his tricks are way better. Yeah, of course they are. A lot of them are way better, but I can't control that.
Yeah.
I can only control me. So
Totally.
I'm
Yeah.
just in a state of like, just go out. I'm just going to do what I can do, present myself in the best way I can possibly present, and see where it lands.
Yeah.
And
It puts the points on the board.
put the points on the
Puts a
board
point-
as
yeah.
best I can. So that's kind of my
Okay.
long story
Got
short
you,
is I
got
go
you.
one trick at a time. Man, I'm skating it, like I said, against the best, the possibly
And
best.
this is where
and
you
I was-
want to be.
I was able to to have my day be the good day, and I was able to take the win that day
Right.
against these guys, these greatest guys in their prime.
Yeah.
That is to me more valuable than anything ever. You can't buy that.
Yeah.
You can't, you know,
Right.
that money can come and go.
Yeah.
You know, that money will be spent soon. You know,
Mhm.
so to me it's so much more valuable than the finance aspect of it. So, and by the way, for me, the most nerve-wracking part of a contest is the qualifying,
Okay.
because once you're accustomed to being in the finals consistently,
Yeah.
you feel down if you don't make it even into the final. I flew all the way across the damn world,
Right. Yeah.
and I can't even make it into the finals.
Yeah.
Shit, I might as well have been home.
Yeah.
And then once I'm in the finals, I get calmer, because I'm like, well, the
You
worst I
made
could
it.
do is eighth.
Yeah.
You know,
True.
Yeah.
it was 29 people. The worst I could do is eighth.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, made it to the finals.
I'm in the finals. I got the TV time. Hopefully the sponsors are happy
Yeah,
about that. You
everybody's
know,
good.
so
Nike shirt looks
Right.
good
yeah,
right now.
I got the
Like
Nike
it
shirt
does.
on. Everything's good.
Oh,
I
let me
got to
check my
show
hat.
off my new
Yeah.
hairdo.
Right.
I don't have to wear the hat anymore. I don't have to wear the logos on the hat anymore.
What do you mean?
Before
New
I always
contracts?
had to wear a hat. I had
Okay.
to. I had to wear the Mountain Dew hat.
So what? Oh,
Ah.
with the it's
Yeah.
a Mountain Dew.
Oh,
hat.
it was a Nike hat, but I had to have the Mountain Dew logo.
Logo
You
on
know,
it, yeah.
and again, that's I'm just.
Couldn't you have
I'm thankful for all
negotiated
that
like, yo, I'll
time.
put it on my sleeve or something? It has
We
to be the
tried.
hat.
We tried. Yeah, we tried.
That
all
is
that.
So
fucking
before you
weird.
took your trick, you did your trick, whatever, pulling the hat down over your head, taking that deep breath, was that like, all right, TV time? Get that
well,
logo in there.
No.
I feel like
no.
it's a calming time.
It's cool.
like you're
I
calming
can totally
yourself.
imagine it's a common time for sure.
Well, you know, personally, you know, I don't want to get too philosophical. I believe in a higher power, so I
Yeah.
say prayers.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
And so for me, and by the way, I do this when I street skate
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah,
And
I've
it's
seen it. I've
actually-
seen you do
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And when the more nervous I am, the more intense that gets.
Yeah.
Bet, yeah.
It's just like it's become an OCD.
Yeah.
And so of course you're very nervous in street league, of course.
Yeah.
So when I'm wearing a hat, I use the hat to cover my face, because it would be embarrassing if you actually saw my face under there, because I'm like talking
Yeah.
to myself with my eyes closed. It looks silly. So
What are you normally saying to yourself?
I'm just saying, you know, please Lord, you know, keep me healthy, take care of me, let me do my best, you know, just giving a little, just
Yeah.
you know, help me do my best, you know, keep me from injuries.
Right.
Yeah.
Keep me healthy.
Help me
Yeah.
accomplish this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just cover the hat over my face, so you don't have to see me with my eyes closed,
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
ridiculous, like blabbing to myself, and that's really what it became, and
So-
and I've always done that, even street skating, but just that, you know, you go to X Games or Street League and they're filming
Yeah.
you with the camera, and now it becomes a thing, and
Yeah.
it became a thing.
It really became a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it became
Yeah.
a thing, and now we're talking about it here on the
Yeah.
nightclub.
Right,
So
yeah.
Yeah.
you know it's
That's
a
it.
thing.
Yeah.
So you know.
Oh, it's a thing. No.
But now,
But what do you do now? You don't wear the hat. Like, what do you got?
I was actually more conscious about it and
Okay.
being subtle about it. So like
Okay.
I would do it like 2 people before my
knew the
turn.
cameras weren't
so I know
on
the
you.
cameras were on someone else. Get it in.
Right,
I
I
say
got
it.
you.
Feel good.
Burn.
Okay,
Yeah.
now I'm good.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Would you turn to like the wall or?
Yeah, and there's time, you know, like I'll do this, or,
Right,
you know, if
right.
if it's coming
Yeah.
down to it, but a little.
Have you
better.
tried to just not move your lips and just like stare straight ahead and
Yeah,
just do
but
it in your mind?
I'll tell you what happens,
You
man.
know?
Is like it's become OCD.
Okay, yeah.
It's become
I
OCD.
I feel you on that.
So I don't know
Yeah.
who else out there has OCD, or you guys have little OCD things that you do in certain areas of your life. But if I don't feel like I'm talking it just doesn't feel right,
I
and
get
didn't
you.
feel like it clicked.
Okay.
And
It's
so
not
then,
being heard
and then
if
I
you don't say
can't
it.
concentrate on what I'm doing because
Yeah.
I'm too busy feeling like, oh, I didn't work. It didn't go right. And
Right,
so
okay.
It's just like almost like a trigger to make your mind clear.
I
be
get you.
clear.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So you actually saying it though out loud.
Yeah,
If
I'm
somebody's
saying
next
it.
to you, are they like, what?
I'm quite sure if you actually ask the guys in Street League who've been standing,
They'll hear you,
I'm
yeah.
curious to know what they're probably like. Fucking weird.
What
like,
is he doing?
I'm
this
quite
guy?
sure there's been
There
a
goes
couple
Paul
people who
again,
like
yeah.
because sometimes I'm not saying it clear like I'm talking to you now.
Right.
It'll be like a
A
mumble.
mumble.
Like,
Right. Well, Raj is accustomed to mumbling.
I'm mumbling all the time.
Yeah,
He's,
so,
a,
like-
he's a mumbler. Well, congratulations
Thanks, dude.
on the win. That was
Thank
amazing.
you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You seem to be really goal oriented.
Mm-hmm.
You've accomplished all these things, and like, what's next? What's your next goal?
I've said this before in other places, but I would hope, in a perfect world, I'd like to go into the acting field. You know what I
Really?
mean? I'd like
There you
to.
go.
Follow your
I-
dad's footsteps, or
Well, he's funnier than me, that's for sure. But
Yeah, but I mean, he's done
but
acting. And
yeah, man.
He
I've
had one of my favorite commercials when I was
the
growing
El
up.
Pollo
Pepsi
Loco?
Man or El Pollo Loco?
It was El Pollo Loco. He'd feel like steamy tortillas. That was one of my favorite
man.
commercials
Yeah.
ever. It would come on, and I'd be waiting for that line. I love
So
that
for
shit.
me, I look at it almost like as I've been around it my whole life.
Yeah.
I was born and raised here in Los Angeles. I've been around the entertainment world my whole life. I just so happened to find my own path through skateboarding, which I love and I'm so grateful for. But I've always have had a bug for that, and I've been on TV sets and movie sets with my father at young and seen the movie Magic.
Yeah.
And
it
you know,
is like a magical thing. You
it's
got like
totally intoxicating.
100 people
Totally.
running around. You got lights and
Yeah,
this. And
it's
I mean,
totally.
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
And so, you know, that's definitely something to me that I'm like, I'm interested in that. I want to see what I can do there.
Well,
I want to
you know
try.
what's funny though is like I kind of agree with you. I'm not a Hollywood type guy. You know, like I don't like the auditions and stuff. But I watch when I watch like shows like Stranger Things. Did you
I
see
love
that?
yes.
But I watch Stranger Things and I'm like, I would love to be on that show.
Yeah.
Like I would love to. I watch The Walking Dead and I'm like, I would love to be a zombie.
Imagine the
Like,
cool
I-
sets they get to be on.
Dude,
Imagine
you know what
the
I mean?
behind
Like,
the scenes.
But it's like
Yeah.
a skate video. When I'm younger, it's like I want to be a part of that company.
Yeah.
Like I want to be on that team. Like, but when I watch those good shows like Stranger Things and stuff, I'm like, that's such a good show.
Yeah.
Like I wish I was on. Like I could be like the cousin or something. Like that comes in and
Yeah.
like gets
Finds the
eaten by the
body.
monster.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
How
like
fun would that be?
we could play like brothers or something. You know?
guys
And,
totally look like brothers.
Yeah. Totally, but I don't think I could handle the audition side. Like I got to go to the audition, and
Yeah,
I
it's
just
like
want to be
zoom
picked
upstream.
up. I want to
Right,
be,
right, right. Yeah, of course.
you know,
in a
like,
perfect world.
I want
of
them to see the
course.
9 Club and be like,
Yeah.
"Yo, that's our dude right there."
And you never
you know
know.
what I mean?
You
like
never
that's our dude.
Yeah. We need that
Uh,
Larry David style character.
I'm just saying.
never
Well,
know.
you know, I don't know.
Yeah, so I would love to do that, and that would be exciting to explore and do. And
For sure,
That's
for
awesome.
sure. There's no reason why you can't.
exactly,
Yeah.
that's the way I try to live life, man. Why
Exactly.
not?
That's it.
You live one time on this ball of dirt floating through endless space.
I trip
What does it
on
matter,
that,
dude? Yeah, what
They're
does it
taking
matter?
pictures of Jupiter, and
It's
like
so
Jupiter is this
crazy.
big, and like Earth is like this.
Yeah, you're
so
tiny,
floating
and,
around
like,
on a little speck in
I'm just like-
infinity, in infiniteness.
You can't even
Yeah.
comprehend infinity.
Can't do it.
You know what I mean?
So really, in the big scope of it, what the hell does it matter?
Yeah, exactly.
What does it matter if I'm the coolest dude in the world, or what does it matter if I'm a kook?
Right.
Doesn't matter.
Right.
Yeah.
You're you.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
gonna give it a
You're
go.
just a random organism on a fucking speck of dirt.
Completely.
Well,
Yeah.
what, if you're cool or a kook, I still like you.
Thank you.
You know what I
Chris.
mean? You know what I mean?
And I love you.
Thank
man.
you, man. I love you too.
Thank
I love
you,
you
dude.
too. You know.
Thank you, brother. That
Well,
ha-
thank God that you stumbled across Dan Abadi
Yes,
seriously.
sir.
and asked
Seriously.
him what the hell that skateboard
Yes,
was. and,
sir. Thank
Let me
God.
try it. and
Blessing.
That's an amazing story.
It's a
by the
great
way.
story.
I love
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
And you guys are still homies to this day.
Uh,
That's good. Well, I hope you win another one,
He will.
God willing.
and I hope you guys do a video, and I hope that you skate and have a part in the video, because
That'd
that's
be
what
cool.
people want to see. People want to see you skate, and come back anytime. If you ever want to sit in for Raj,
Yeah.
you let
all
me
right.
know
I'm gonna
when
see.
we have another guest here. You could be the co-host.
Yeah, man.
Well, dude, thanks for coming, man.
My
It's
pleasure.
fucking
dudes.
amazing.
My pleasure.
Yeah.
I better get home before I get in trouble.
Have Rachel land a kickflip for us.
What was that? What was that you guys were saying?
We want to see the kickflip.
All right.
Kickflip.
Yes.
Yeah.
Coming
Where's
soon?
that kickflip at?
That's
Come on,
right.
Rach.
Mike Cusinelli. I guess
Should roll with
Spanish
that.
Mike is easier to say.
I know
though.
my dad be like, yo, man, why you don't? I'm like, Pops, that's my nickname. I'm running with it. Like, the last name will come out when it's time to come out.
And it just came out.
Look, you can't even tear it. You can't even tear it. Do you see that? Try to tear that shit. You can't.
This is amazing. I just witnessed a live infomercial
It's amazing.
right in front of me.